come today. It's a very nice atmosphere here. I don't know really what we're going to be answering some questions. I believe it's all matching. I see. Very good. A lot of jackets of this color. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting us to come and associate with your hall. So, I won't sing because we've got less time, I think, and we need more time. But we could discuss some philosophy and answer questions and on any topic. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 You know, I can shout a lot, huh? Yeah, my voice is loud. Hare Krishna. So, I'm going to open my Veda base because if you have any questions, we have to look at the books and answer them. Should we read anything in particular, you think, before we ask questions? Is there something that we should read?
Prabhu, Sean had a question about the Ganges.
About?
The Ganges and Mount Meru.
Oh,
Can I clarify?
Ganges, okay.
You say from the
Ganges is a whole thing, yeah. There's a whole. We'll give you a CD. I think it's there. You can even Google it. The whole thing on Ganges. We have CDs also of it. Ganga, beautiful actually. It's very beautiful. When you come to the temple, we give it to you. It's the whole thing. It explains everything. How the Ganges is coming from the tomb of Lord Vishnu, from the top of the universe, you know, coming all the way down. Ganges, the water is very pure, but you have to have faith in the river Ganges and the water. I've been there many times, but one time when I was there was a body that was flowing half burnt, and a dog was eating the body, and we were drinking the water next to it. So for Westerners, if they see that, they think, wow, what these people are off the head. But we know that the water is not contaminated. We know that. So we can drink it. And at any time, we just take a sip from the river and we just drink. Whether anything is flowing, we don't bother because we know it's pure. The Ganges. Yeah. I can still remember how the dog is trying to grip it. It's swimming in the water and trying to grip the body. And the Indian people, they don't worry. The body is half burnt, it's going. They're not bothered. But you know, they are not so much in the bodily concept of life. Not worrying about the body so much. They know that the person has left. And what better way to go flow in the Ganges? Yeah. We can talk about the Ganges, yeah. Anything else? Or should we read some verse first, right?
Yeah.
What verse?
You want to read from the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam?
Okay, I can read from Srimad Bhagavatam. What verse?
Eighth canto.
Eighth canto.
Yeah.
Eighth canto. Huh? Vamanati. Okay. The whole story is about Bali Maharaj. I'll read from that. Let's see. So you know the story of Bali Maharaj. It's a long story, but it's a very interesting pastime. I'll just read one purport and then we can discuss a little bit philosophically on Bali Maharaj's greatness. Okay, I'm talking about 22, 21, 22. Okay. Okay, I'll just read this first. 21, I'll read. 20, 21, and I'll read 22 verses. The unlimited Supreme Personality of Godhead, who had assumed the form of Vaman, then began increasing in size, acting in terms of the material energy, until everything in the universe was within his body, including the earth, the planetary systems, the sky, the direction, the various holes in the universe, the seas, the oceans, the birds, the beasts, human beings, the demigods, and the great saintly persons. I'll read this paragraph because it's dealing with the Ganges. Bali Maharaj wanted to give charity to Vamandev, but the Lord expanded his body in such a way that he showed Bali Maharaj that everything in the universe is already in his body. Actually, no one can give anything to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for he is full in everything. Sometimes we see a devotee offering Ganges water to the Ganges. After taking his bath in the Ganges, a devotee takes a palmful of water and offers it back to the Ganges. Actually, when one takes a palmful of water from the Ganges does not lose anything. And similarly, if a devotee offers a palmful of water to the Ganges does not increase in any way. It's the same. But by such devotion and faith, what we offer does not belong to us. No, nor does it enrich the opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if one offers whatever he has in possession, he becomes a recognized devotee. In this regard, the example is given that when one's face is decorated with a garland and sandalwood pulp, the reflection of one's face in a mirror automatically becomes beautiful. That is why we go look ourselves so much in the mirror, isn't it? Let's be honest, I don't know. Do you all do that? Do you do that? You look beautiful in the mirror? You think that you really look beautiful, right? Isn't it? So but that's a reflection. But in spiritual life, when the Lord's reflection is there, it's the same. See, when Krishna's face is reflected in the mirror, or Radharani's face, is the same. Like Krishna is reflected in the heart of Radharani. So the heart of Radharani is the mirror. The mirror. That's how it is. So when your heart is cleansed, then Krishna can be residing in your heart. So then the original source of everything is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is our original source also. Therefore, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is decorated, the devotees and all living entities are decorated automatically. Just like when you glorify Krishna, like we glorify Krishna, and we look also very attractive when we glorify Krishna, isn't it? People are looking, they're taking out photographs and so many things. It's very attractive. When you chant, when you dance, it's very attractive, isn't it? Is that not so?
Yeah.
How do you feel when you're dancing?
Blissful.
Blissful. Yeah. Very blissful. So this is the first verse. It's talking about how the devotee offers everything to the Ganges, and the Ganges remain full. And whatever you offer Krishna, he's always satisfied. He's in no ways need your fruits or whatever it is you're offering him, but he's looking for that devotion. He's looking for that devotion. So 22 is talking about 22, Bali Maharaj, along with all the priests, acharyas, and members of the assembly, observed the Supreme Personality of Godhead's universal body, which was full of 6 opulences. That body contained everything in the universe, including all the gross elements, the senses, the sense objects, the mind, intelligence, and false ego, the various kinds of living entities, and actions and reactions of the 3 modes of material nature. Thereafter, Bali Maharaj, who was occupying the seat of King Indra, could see that the lower planetary systems, such as Rasatala, on the soles of the feet of the Lord's universal form. He saw on the Lord's lotus feet the surface of the globe. On the surface of his calves, all the mountains. On his knees, the various birds. And on his thighs, the various varieties of air. So everything is in the body of Krishna. And if you see Krishna, then you see everything. And if you know Krishna, you'll know everything. So one who knows Krishna knows everything. So people say, well, how many hairs on my head? You know? Mine is maybe easier to say. But I guess in most people's cases, you ought to know. Isn't it? That's like a very silly question. Or, not so intelligent question. But everything is in Krishna. Everything. So what is your realization of Krishna thus far? Let me hear from you all today. Because we want to make it a two-way session. I just read 2 verses about how Krishna is everything and everything is in Krishna. Do you have any comments? What do you love about Krishna? What is the most amazing feature of Krishna? Anybody? What do you love about Krishna? Radhika? Don't know. She's a scholarly person, but today she don't want to tell you anything. Huh? Huh? What she said?
She loves everything about Krishna.
Oh, that's an easy answer. Yeah, I said everything. What is the most attractive feature of Krishna that you like? Krishna is opulent. What do you like most in God? His beauty.
Yes.
You like his beauty?
Yes. You can talk to him.
You can talk to him, yes.
He's got that strong attraction.
Strong attraction, huh?
Very good, yes.
I think his love is more important than anything else.
Love of Krishna. Yeah, we can train your heart to get that love for Krishna. But really, to get the love of Krishna, you have to be a devotee of Radharani. Really Radharani, the real, who can give you that love for Krishna. Because she's the topmost lover of Krishna. So she can give you that love. See, a devotee has love. See, Krishna can't love himself. The devotee loves Krishna. And the devotee is the container of that love. So from that container, he can give you that love. But you can't get it directly from Krishna. You can't get it directly from Krishna. What do you think about that? Yeah. Anything else, Paramahansa?
The Bhagavad Gita, knowledge.
Knowledge.
What about Krishna as merciful, most merciful?
Yeah, but more merciful than Krishna is the devotee. More merciful than Krishna is the devotee. Because here in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, I'll just read it for you. This is what Krishna says. Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, meaning that those people who are attached, like wise people, like devotees, should not go and unsettle them because they absorb in the modes of nature. This is what Krishna is saying. Then he says, but the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. So he is doing that, but Prabhupada in the purport writes, he says, men are ignorant, cannot appreciate activities in Krishna consciousness. And therefore Lord Krishna advises us not to disturb them and simply waste valuable time. But the devotees of the Lord are more kind than the Lord, because they understand the purpose of the Lord. Consequently, they undertake all kinds of risks, even to the point of approaching ignorant men to try to engage them in acts of Krishna consciousness, which are absolutely necessary for the human being. Is that okay? So even if a person is like, the devotee does that. And yeah, is it okay? Anybody else would like to say? Rupanagar?
I was thinking of that verse from Upanishad, Om Purnamidam Purnam. Although Krishna, many manifestations come out of him, he still remains a complete person. Your first question was similar to, I think the question that you asked first is related to what I'm going to answer.
Can't hear you. Yeah, microphone.
That's fine.
Loud, you have to be louder.
I was referring to the first verse from
Upanishad.
Upanishad.
And what does it say?
Although many manifestations come out of Krishna, he still remains complete.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. How many of you have read the Upanishad? This is a verse that's normally chanted by Hindus a lot also. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam. You know the Purnam? Udacha. Completed? Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnameva Visi. Okay. So what does that mean? The personality of God is perfect and complete, and because He is completely perfect, all emanations from Him, such as the phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete whole. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself, because He is the complete whole. Even though so many complete units emanate from Him, He remains the complete balance. So yes, the Supreme Lord is complete. Therefore, anything produced in this world is never incomplete. It's always complete, remember that. Because everything emanating from Krishna must be complete. All forms of completion are experienced due to an incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. Got it? All forms of incompletion are experienced due to an incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. Makes sense, right? So your incompletion, you say, well, people are starving. So it's not like that. Everything is produced at the right quota, but it's abused. Everything is complete. Is it okay? Anybody else would add on that? Okay. So, yeah, there's so many wonderful purports here that we will be teaching this book shortly, I think. One of the weekends we'll be teaching that book. You want to raise anything that you could ask them if they want to raise anything, or we can stop or whatever.
It was very nice that you explained this, because a lot of people take that God created this world and that he must have some design flaw if there's so much of problems as we see it, the poverty, the inequality, the crime and other things. But it's actually our misuse of what he's given us. It's not that he created this world to have problems.
Yeah. You see, even like when the government creates the prison house. Now before the prison house is created, they make sure that all facilities are taken, all factors are taken into account. They have to have nice bars, they know the prisoners don't have to escape, they have to have certain amount of bathrooms, they have all those facilities. All those facilities are there. So before even criminals being there, the state is taking all the measures to ensure that they're creating a prison house where people will stay happy. That's what they're doing, right? So if an ordinary government, an ordinary human being does that, how much more God will take precautionary measures to create a planet to accommodate everybody? So just think about it, It's very simple. Isn't it, Sudama? Yeah. All facilities are made for everybody. The ant, the snakes, the scorpions, all facilities are made. Even dogs, you don't have to look after the dogs and buy dog food and things like that. They'll survive. Isn't it? They'll survive. Okay. Anything else?
Prabhu, is that why a lot of the sages of the past used to always say that we are architects of our own destiny? That's why we got all this suffering in the world, because we cause it for ourselves. Birth after birth, we do all the wrong things. And only when the suffering comes, then they want to blame God and jump from this side to that side. But
everybody's got a bachelor's of architecture degree. In short, it's called BAD, bad. Everybody got that architecture degree. We call it BAD, bad. And when you get a little worse, you get your master's. Is it? What is it? In short, what it'll be? MAD. And if you're planning to get married, you'll get your doctorate degree. You become dead. Everybody is responsible for their own future activities. They're responsible. But when you surrender to a bona fide spiritual master, then he takes away that karma. And you become free, and then you have to surrender properly and don't break any of the principles. And you carry on in Krishna consciousness. We follow 4 principles. What are they? You'll know 3, or how many? You'll know 4. Okay, say the 4.
No intoxication, no meat eating, no illicit sex, and no gambling.
No gambling. 4 principles. You have to follow the 4 principles. Then you surrender, then it's okay. And then you can carry on from there. But sometimes you may get some remnants of it. You may suffer a little bit sometimes after initiation, but it's also purification. It's not on the category of karma then. It's on the category of purification for the devotee. It's not an action and reaction. So when you see the devotee suffering, don't think it's like, this fellow, he did something for me, that's why he's like this. He told me such and such. Not like that. It's not like that. Perhaps what do you think? You read Bhagavad Gita. How many of you read Bhagavad Gita? Yeah? All of you. Not all of you. All of you read. or you read some parts of it, right? What was most inspiring in what you read?
Krishna's favorite star is the moon.
Oh, the moon. You like to go to the moon?
No, Krishna's, of all the stars, Krishna is the moon.
Yeah.
No, so it's interesting, he's mixing the moon with the stars.
Moon is a big star.
The moon is a big star.
Yeah. The moon planet, it's a planet. There's living entities. There's people there. You may not know that there's people.
But the one when you look see in the sky, is it a reflection or is it?
It's the moon. You can go there. It's above the sun. You may get roasted in between, but if you make it, good luck. You can go to the moon, and the moon is a planet which has people, living entities. It's a planet. Not, like what anyway, the Americans didn't go there, but yeah. But it's a very powerful planet. So if you want to have a lot of sense enjoyment, then you can go to the moon planet and live for 10,000 years. And the 10,000 years, okay, and the 10,000 years, it's not so long, those heavenly planets. And then you have to leave that planet at some point. After your piety exhausts, then you leave. So if you're thinking of going to the moon or the sun planet, may not be so good. How many of you want to go to Krishna's planet? Everybody? Huh? It's a big process. It's a long process. It looks simple. You just chant Hare Krishna. We tell the people. But when you really get into it, it's a whole process. Isn't it? I was describing last week on Sunday morning. I'm coming to the platform of love. It's a whole process. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to ask? We can conclude otherwise. Sudama?
In the beginning, you're talking about Krishna's amazing qualities. Something that I thought of was that Krishna forgets that he's God.
Krishna?
Yeah.
Krishna
He forgets that he's Krishna. Krishna forgets that he's God.
Oh, yeah. You know that God also forgets? You accept that? God also forgets. Yeah.
It's also very simple as well.
Huh?
Also very simple as well.
Simple. Yeah, but he forgets, yeah. But he forgets.
With the Lord, he still took the task of it.
Yeah, there are reasons why you forget. You may not know these reasons. But the reason you forget is that, see, if he remembers he's God, then he cannot enjoy that pastime with his mother Yashoda. He cannot enjoy that pastime with Radharani. So he's covered. He thinks he's just a cowherd boy. Otherwise that relationship won't take place. So when God, like if you know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, then it will hamper your love for him, because it won't be spontaneous. Because you'll be in awe and reverence, he is God. So there's not a flowing affection. You get it?
Yeah.
But if you don't know he's God, then people are jumping on his shoulder, they're making fun of him, or doing so many things. Oh yeah. So the reason is why he forgets, because Krishna says in the Gita, what's that verse? Sarvasya chaham hidi sanavistu matasmiti jnanam apanam cha. I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me come knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So if Krishna has forgetfulness, Can't you forget? It's coming from him, it's not coming from you. You're thinking you forgot, but actually you did forget. That forgetfulness is coming from Krishna. It's not coming from yourself. Sometimes you say, I forgot my homework. You know, you tell the teacher, I don't know how many people. Like I remember when I was in school, you know, we had to give speeches sometime, and myself and another guy, we were like, he said, yeah, we'll have to talk. Meanwhile, we didn't do anything. So the teacher was telling us, okay, go in the front, speak now. You have prepared everything, sitting, you know what you wrote. I'm like, yeah, sure, for sure. We were both of us, when we started talking one way, we didn't know what to do. We were shocked. Meanwhile, we didn't. We were just talking, you know. So, but then he said, no, you still need punishment because you haven't got it. But anyway, so it's like that, you know, we forget, we thinking we forgetting, but the forgetfulness comes from Krishna. And somehow often, you know, it happens that sometimes you forget, like you may forget, you may go and get delayed to take the plane, and you find that the plane crashes in the other destination when it reaches, and you missed it because you were not meant to be there from Krishna's perspective. But from your side, you're thinking, how could I have missed it? And that happens because that forgetfulness is coming from Krishna.
Prabhu, he states that clearly in the Bhagavad Gita, I can make you forget and I can make you remember.
Remember.
That
So if God can make you forget, then can't He forget? Because it's coming from Him. You have to understand these concepts also. Yeah. So Krishna, he makes his devotees forget so he can have that pastime. Imagine if Mother Yashoda know that Krishna is God, what will happen? Then she won't run with a stick behind him. She won't try to bind him. She won't do these things. What was the point you were making about forgetfulness?
Yeah, I think you touched on it. It comes back to love. That you experience the highest loving relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have that relationship with Krishna as a... How many of you like to be a friend of Krishna? All of you. But we all have different relationships with Krishna, just that we don't know it. And we may not know it in this lifetime, you know. But you have to practice, you have to really live it. 24 hours a day, you should be chanting, not watching television, nothing. Can you do these things? No gambling, no intoxication, not being sidetracked by anything. That's what it means. And we don't compromise the principle. Like we are preaching to students at the campus here, and we had a course for them. I was doing it on Thursday. I was questioning them on this philosophy. And they were all blacks. They had a very good knowledge of it. I was shocked. You know, the knowledge they had. But we told them our principles. And it's quite like strong principles. But we didn't compromise the principles. So it's something that we need to follow, right? Perhaps what's your realization after reading Bhagavad Gita? Huh?
Many, should I say?
Huh?
Many.
Many. So you can give us one of your realizations. Talk loud, but. You know, we should stand up and talk. Stand up and talk. Hey, let's
Those
hear.
who are wise, limit man of the living nor the dead.
Yeah.
So we all are.
Yeah, the wise limit neither for the living nor the dead. But if somebody passes away, what do we do? You know, I was just thinking, the other day I was talking in the temple, we were having a class, our morning class, Bhagavatam, and we were speaking about, but I didn't mention that you can hire people to cry in a funeral. You aware of that?
Yes.
And they can howl and they can make noise and cry. But that crying is actually a natural thing. So when you advance in spiritual life, you'll naturally, tears will flow from your eyes when you love Krishna. It's a natural thing. But when you force it, then that will be warm when it's falling down there. Because it's not out of jubilation. It's warm. Then you know it's not genuine. It must be cold. So it's flowing down your cheeks or so it has to be cold. Yeah. So the body, to become free from the bodily concept of life is not easy. It takes a lot. Devotees sit and say, you're not this body, you're spirit, soul. And we done saying this for this is like the 4th decade, I'm saying the same thing. But it takes a little while, and we're explaining the point of Bali Maharaj. The same Bali Maharaj and Vamandev. So Bali Maharaj, you're supposed to take 3 steps of land, 3 steps. The Lord had to take 3 steps because he gave 3 steps of land. And in 2 steps, everything was done. So the 3rd step was left. And he said he should place the 3rd step on his head. So that was good from his point of view and from people he's getting the mercy of God. But the wives are saying, well, actually, he's not very advanced because he's still considering his body to belong to him. That's there. Because he's thinking that it's his body that he's offering God. But the body belongs to God. Get it? So we have to be careful, it's like, yes, it takes a while to get out of it. It's not that easy. It takes some time. And you flee from, It's like, I raise a question, if somebody attack your brother, if they attack other people, you're not worried, right? But if somebody attacks your brother or your sister, what will you do? You'll take some action, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Why?
He's your brother.
Huh?
He's your brother.
When you're attached to you, there's attachment there. Because you love your brother, so it's an attachment. But other person get attacked, you're not worried. You got it? So you have to be conscious of that, So if you don't have anything else, we can close, And where's...
Bali Maharaj was one of the 12 Mahajans, right? But was it the Lord's arrangement that he was still on the bodily concept?
Whether it was the Lord's arrangement that he was still on the bodily concept of life, he was also imprisoned, he was taken,
Yeah.
And he was, but sometimes the mercy works in reverse order, in reverse ways. Sometimes you should teach the common people that this one can happen even if you're an advanced devotee. That's the way to look at it. If somebody is advanced, he can still be attached. Like Prabhupada, I was just thinking about this morning, he was in another category, he was very advanced, and not that he just loved his children, he had children, but he loved his disciples a lot. And then I was thinking, what could be the answer to that? Is there anything that he mentioned that he loves them so much? I was trying to figure it out. But then as I was walking down, I was thinking of what Giriraj Maharaj said about Prabhupada. He said, Prabhupada himself said, but it probably come out in his new book or something. He said that, I had a small family, some sons, some children, some daughters, and there was so much trouble and miseries. So many, you had to take care of them, worry about them, and so much of challenges. And then he said, and then Krishna just, took me away from them. and gave me so many hundreds and thousands of sons and daughters, and no problems. So in that sense, he was seeing that the disciples were his actual children. That's one way of looking at it. There's other things I can say, but but it's like that, sometimes. That's like Kunti also was the same story with Kunti, Queen Kunti. She said, please sever the knot, the tie of affection. But the Pandavas were devotees. So what was that tie of affection? That was the material tie of affection. Please sever it, please cut it off. So you have to cut the tie of affection off, yeah. So it's quite but it's not that we don't have emotions, feelings and things for people. It's not like that. In fact, we have more feelings for people. You are more compassionate when you become a devotee. You are less compassionate when you're a good human being. Even if you're good, because your compassion is centered around you and your family. It's not to other people. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop here. Any other comments, or we'll just take one or two last questions and we can stop? Because you have other things too. Is there anything else? What time you'll have to stop? At 5, isn't it? It's already 22. So.
Today we have a special addition to the program.
Okay.
Appreciations for you.
Oh really? Oh, gosh.
We're going to open the floor, and everyone is welcome to express their gratitude to Prabhu for everything he's done for them and wish him well in his new journey in spiritual life.